Welcome back to Two Brothers Comics. I'm Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Unlimited app and doing a quick review to tell you guys my thoughts, my opinions, what it's all about, and is it worth it. So if you're new here to the channel, smash the subscribe button, at least hit the like button. So what exactly is the Marvel Unlimited app? Well, at the core of it, it is a digital comic book app. It has over 28,000 comic books. Now, the one benefit of this is it has a huge backlog of books, right? The catalog here is, just 28,000 books. Fantastic. That's more than most people could ever read in a lifetime, so it is a wonderful resource for Marvel Comics. It has a lot of the big books on there, like Fantastic Four issues that are early on, Amazing Fantasy 15. You know, those books that if you do own them, you're probably not going to be brave enough to flip through and actually read them. Yeah, there are facsimile reprints and things like that, but it does give you a wide access. Now, most times whenever I talk with folks about the Marvel Unlimited app, they always ask, what about brand new comics? And I'm actually going to jump into the app, do a screen recording, and show you everything about the app. So we will do that in just a second. But yes, you do get the new apps or the new comic books that come out 3 months after they hit the shelves. So if there's a series that you've been interested in reading, maybe you just missed it, maybe you just didn't want to buy it, but it still intrigues you somewhat. 3 months later, after it hits the shelf, it will normally hit the Marvel Unlimited app. And I'll show you some of the ones that have hit in May of 2021, because I'm recording this right now in August of 2021. So 3 months ago, we just got a new update of all the books that hit the Unlimited app. Now, before we dive into the app and show you guys exactly what the user interface and all that looks like, the cost is always a big thing for people that they want to know. I actually partake in the monthly cost of the app. It's $9.99 a month. It's built through my app store, iTunes. I'll be honest with you, I probably should just go ahead and jump on and pay the annual or the annual plus, just because that would save me, about half a cost for the annual, which is $69 a year. So it's about $575 a month, or the annual plus, which is $99 a year, which is $825 a month. But with that annual plus, you get an exclusive kit. So let's talk about what comes in the kit. So you will get a limited edition Hasbro Marvel Legends Miss Marvel Spider-Man costume figure, not available anywhere else. It looks okay, but Miss Marvel is nothing I'm really interested in, so it is what it is. 2 variant comics, Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. They are John Tyler Christopher blueprint variant and a Salvador LaRocha variant. So those look okay, but again, I've never been a massive fan of the character design variants of the blueprint, so that doesn't truly intrigue me. And then you'll get an Iron Man Scotty Young pin. That's actually pretty neat looking. And then a Stark Unlimited logo patch. So again, if that's something you're really interested in, you know what? At least you're getting a little more bang for your buck out of that. And 2 comics that you can't get any other way. If you're a completionist, there you go. And then 2 other things. You can try this for free for 7 days. That's really honestly a great way to try it, to see if digital comics are even worth it to you, or if the app's even worth it to you. And then you get exclusive invites to Marvel events, and then 10% off Marvel merchandise and more at shopdisney.com. So, if those things are actual benefits to you, great. If not, the regular annual for $59 a month, I think is what it was I said, $69 a year is probably the best deal, unless you just really want that Marvel Legends or those comic books. All right, so let's jump into the app, show you guys exactly what it looks like. You can do it on your cell phone. I'm going to be using my iPad. It also works for most other tablets, but for me, the iPad here has been so beneficial to have. So let's open it up and walk through some of the features of the app. All right, so right off the bat, the user interface is great. Here's some of the books I've been reading, currently reading 9. So you can see, like I mentioned before, I've kind of gone through, read a bunch of the All-New Wolverine, the X-Force, and some of that. Some of the ones I've kind of went back to reference a few things as I read. Started reading Immortal Hulk, and then you can see I kind of dropped off at issue 24 because, well, things just got weird in that series, so I dropped it off. But at the very top here, it gives you some spotlights, Marvel Noir, Marvel Unlimited's Cat. I guess these are some like editor picks and things like that. The Marvel Universe. I'm assuming this is going to be relevant to the MCU, character close-ups, and Marvel must-read. So we know the character close-ups, things like that, they're really going to be hitting on whatever's going on in the MCU, right? Shang-Chi's the next big movie. That's what they're going to hit on. Marvel must-read is pretty neat here. Meet the Eternals, Vision and Wanda, Empire. Again, all of these are going to be books they really want to push. I would say none of these specifically are must-reads, in my opinion. Yeah, none of these are just the must-read books. When I'm thinking Marvel must-reads, I'm thinking classic X-Men stories. All New Wolverine is a must-read, in my opinion. Some of these really beautiful event books that they've done, some classic Spider-Man stories, not books from 2021 that nobody, I've not heard anybody come out and say, Eternals #1 from 2021 was the greatest story I've ever read. Wanda and Vision, obviously, from the show, but I would prefer Tom King's, Wanda and Vision, his story from his Vision series he did. That was, a much better run of comics. Empire, not one person out here say positive things about Empire from 2020. So, yeah, maybe don't pay attention to those so much, because if these are what they're absolutely recommending, I can't. Maybe the Miles Morales from 2018. Yeah, most of these I wouldn't personally recommend. Now, before we keep going deeper into the app, up at the top left here, you have what looks like a comic book shape with 2 question marks. If you click on that, it'll randomly pick up some random comic book issue. So here it gave me Amazing Spider-Man from 164. That right there is pretty neat. If you're ever bored and go, you know what, I have a few minutes, I'm going to read a random issue. Pretty neat there. I do like that feature. Now, if we scroll down a little bit, this is where I mentioned earlier in the video, you have new this week, and you'll see these all came out May 19th. This is currently the 3rd week in May, I believe it is. So this makes sense. This lines up. So there's 15 new books that came out, from that week that are now on here. And then you have other books that they've added this month. So you can scroll through and see Strange Tales, Patsy's, Inhumans, a ton of Inhumans here. Some Black Widow books, Beta Ray Bill, the Hellfire Gala Guide. So there's a bunch of stuff they're adding. The Empire Strikes Back. Darth Vader has been a wonderful run. So really a really nice feature there. If you're ever bored, go in and say, hey, what's something random new that they've maybe added this week that I can go in and check out? And then popular this week. So you can go in and see what other people are reading, which makes sense. A lot of these make sense because these are the newer books. And then you see popular this month, which is, kind of interesting to me that these are the most popular ones. I know Beta Ray Bill's been very unpopular. Heroes Reborn just finished up, but that's kind of what this is here. And that's kind of what you get on your home screen. And then you go to reading list, and this is where they're going to spotlight different characters or latest or different events, things like that. New to comics. So this is very interesting. Start here. Again, it takes you back to some of the must-reads. I would not start with those for a new comic book reader. I would pick some much better stories. I have a feeling if you read those, you're not going to be, I'm not saying they're bad. I'm just saying there are a lot better comic books out there than what they're recommending on that list. Creators is pretty cool, but again, they're really going to start pushing things that are happening in the MCU or the events or things like that. They're using this as kind of a marketing tool there to get some hype around some of these other things. So let's check out some of the events. Right off the bat, Reign of X, fairly recent. King in Black, Enter the Phoenix. Enter the Phoenix was where the Avengers run just took a big plummet. Let's see, X of Swords, Vision Quest. So a lot of these are going to be very recent. I wish they would pull up some of the more classic stuff here. But again, that may be not everybody's opinions. Planet Hulk was a good one. Secret Invasion, a lot of people liked. Civil War was very interesting. Thanos Wins was very interesting. Days of Future Past, very popular. And then Rise of the Midnight Suns, which, they just announced a video game. Then, of course, you have your browse feature here, where this can be a little bit overwhelming. And it's very specific about how you type it in for the search and things like that. Again, they're pushing the Eternals. They're pushing Black Widow, things like that, because, well, that's what the movies are. But it's really cool because you do have your characters, creators, comic events, and publication dates. So if you really love Jason Aaron, for example, say he is just your guy, you can click on it, read everything by Jason Aaron that he's done. Really cool feature there. I really like the character. So for me, I really dug in deep earlier this year into X-23, Laura Kinney, and that was such a fantastic feature for me to be able to go through and read a lot of her stuff. Comic events, another great thing. I got into comic books because of the MCU movies, and so for me, the Infinity Saga was just my starting point. So this would have been really helpful to be able to come in and go to, oh, Infinity War. Okay, let's click on it. Boom. Let's see what all leads up. And there we go, the Infinity War. Or even we go to the series and we go, okay, Infinity Gauntlet. There we go. That was actually my first set of comic books I ever purchased. So very, very neat and a really good function there. Publication date, that's pretty cool. So say you're looking for some books that came out maybe during your birth year. I know some people that will actually go out and buy every book during the year they were born, or during the month and year they were born. This may be a really good tool for you to go and say, okay, here's all the Marvel books that are from that list. And then, of course, you have the My Library down at the bottom. So these are just some of the ones that I've read. Like I said, I read all of the All New Wolverine. And, you know, this just kind of keeps track of the books that you've read or you're reading or whatever, things of that nature. You can actually add those to your app. And then at the very end, you get your account. So you see I'm here, the Unlimited, been a member since 2018 on this thing. Now at the core of it, that's what the app looks like. Now let's actually click on a comic book and see how it reads. You see here, I clicked on the All New Wolverine. I love this issue. I love this series. And it tells you a description, you know, who it was written by, all that good stuff. You can mark it as read, add it to your library, even download it, or just hit read now. So I'm going to click the read now button. And you can see I'm on the very last page. So now I'm going to go all the way back to the beginning. So there we go. And this is kind of what it looks like. It's very functional, very easy. It's simple. You can see how big it kind of is here. So it's just a great format. All you do is you swipe, 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 swipe. So for me, it's really, really great to be able to sit down and read these and be able to scan through them. I can read at night. I can read in my bed. I can read in a car. I can read, 40 issues on a car ride. I know that's a bit much. Not bring 40 comic books with me. So there's a ton of advantages to this. And there's also something I think that's really useful on your cell phone if you want to read, because it is smaller, something called Smart Panel. So if you go to the top, click on that, what it does is it will actually turn these into panels. So I'm trying to, yeah, there you go. You can see it there. And so you just click on it, boom, boom. So it breaks it down into panels. I'm not a huge fan of reading it that way, but it is an option if you want to do so. Now, my biggest frustration is trying to get out of these things. So you see I click, it turns the page. If I swipe, it turns the page. I'm trying to get the menu to come up so I can exit the book, and sometimes that's a little more difficult. That is the core of the Marvel Unlimited app. In my opinion, it is worth the $9.99, at least the free trial to read some books maybe you've always wanted to. I'm telling you, it's if you really want to read and dive deep, it's such a great tool. Such a great tool. Guys, let me know what you think. If you've already, used the app before, let me know your thoughts. I hope this helps maybe some new comic book readers or maybe some old comic book readers that are still a little on edge, but this is my opinion, my thoughts, and my review of the Marvel Unlimited app. Guys, you're the best part of Two Brothers Comics. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it out with a couple of friends. You are the best part of Two Brothers Comics, and as always, collect your way.